Live from Los Angeles. Welcome back to Good Morning, LaLa, and Dr. D. Dinorah is in the house. She's a personal professional coach and author. We're so excited to have you here. Love you. We all need that, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about it.
So Love You, 12 Ways to Be Who You Love and Love Who You Are is a self-help memoir. And really the point of it is to help people feel comfortable loving themselves, putting themselves first, unapologetically guilt-free. Because that's such a big issue for us, right? We're called selfish. We're told that we're self-centered. If we take a second to just breathe and take care of us before we give to other people. So I really just want to give people permission to do that, you know?
You mentioned that this is a bit of a memoir, and on the back it says there was a time when you needed things to get so bad for you to leave, and now you need things to be really great to stay.
Yes.
What was the moment you flipped that switch for yourself?
So I got married, then I went through a divorce, and I was in nonprofit executive management for a while, and that was pretty amazing and stressful. And there was a point right around 2014, bordering on 2015, where I was like, I can't manage this level of stress ever, right? And so that's, I think, when I was like, wait a minute, I have to stop waiting for it to be an exit point and actually start making choices to be where I want to be in the moment and be happy with everywhere I am, right?
Interesting. And where's that point? Because I think that sometimes we swing the opposite way, you know? Like I watch my girlfriends, we all get our self-love jam on, we date ourselves, and then it's like almost like we won't settle for anything. And it's almost like not good to go too far the other way. Like, so where's that happy medium?
I think there is a level of tolerating distress in the moment, right? But as long as you're changing things for the better long term. So if you find yourself in a situation where like, okay, yeah, this Uber is taking a little longer than I'd like, you don't want to spaz out and go ham in the middle of the street, right? But maybe you want to think about calling that Uber a little earlier the next time. So I think there's a way to both in the moment tolerate a little bit of discomfort while still strategizing on how do I make my life easier, smoother, better in the long term so that I'm not constantly in a situation that's causing me stress.
Like healthy boundaries.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Sure. Absolutely.
Oh, boundaries. I love that.
I love the focus on self-love, of course. And I think self-love gets talked about a lot, but I think people have a difficult time sort of applying it and actually doing anything about it. So can you talk to us a little bit about that? Like how do you grow, cultivate, nourish self-love?
Yeah, absolutely. So in my book, I talk about the 8 dimensions of wellness, and I'm just going to go quickly, but we can, slow down after. But they are emotional, financial, social, spiritual, occupational, physical, intellectual, and environmental. So I'll take a breath. So each of those has some activities, practical things that you can do in the moment to really practice self-love. So it's not this esoteric, abstract concept that we kind of hashtag and throw around and then we're back in the swing of whatever our daily routine was, right? That we can actually every day do something differently. Get up and meditate, even though you try to shame me about sleeping.
There's no shame. I'm saying this. Either be honest about meditating, or if you don't meditate, say you don't meditate, you just take coffee.
Exactly. I love that.
There's no shame about that.
And that's another one of them. So I talk about being honest, being transparent, being vulnerable, right? So that you're really putting out into the universe the kind of energy that you want to get back, which is that honest, open, learning, growing kind of energy, so that every day presents you with a new opportunity and a new experience.
What is the biggest thing you've seen in your clients that's holding people back?
Self-judgment.
Really?
Yeah. I work in my private practice almost exclusively with overachievers. So people who are successful, are not happy, can't figure out how they got to one without the other. I mean, they just knew they would come together, right? And a lot of us are like that. And I think that's why I was called to that particular niche, because I myself was in that boat for a little while. And the biggest thing that we talk about all the time is self-judgment. This idea that we carry around with us that we should be further, that we should have done something differently, that we should be more, that we should have, that we should do, that we should, all of these shoulds really is
Stop
the big
shooting
thing.
on yourself. So, and yes, and we call, even from an energetic perspective, if we're resisting something, we make it persist. We know that, right? So it's really a big thing. And the minute that we even consider ourselves to not be something, we set in motion, whatever. So how do you have them actually overcome this? Just through practice, or do you deal with the subconscious mind, or how do you deal with
I do both, right? So I don't know if you're Abrahammer, but I'm an Abrahammer. hammer. We can talk about that. So reach for the next best feeling thought, right? So instead of the judgment, go to what is the next best feeling thing that you can think about yourself. It might not be I'm perfect, I'm awesome, I'm the bomb, right? It might be like I'm doing better today than I was yesterday. But slowly, little by little, starting to transform that narrative around your self-talk, right? So that's a big piece of it. And then also tracking back, where did we learn this kind of judgment? Who holds us to this kind of judgment? Who taught us to criticize us in this way? Some of it is just, society, right? Like I got up and was like, how are these jeans hugging my waist though, right? So some of it is just that. And some of it is really trauma and personal experiences that we had as children or growing up, adolescents or whatever, that put into our minds some idea of who we were supposed to be and how we failed.
Thank you for sharing your personal journey and helping us truly love ourselves. Please tell everyone where they can find, follow, and work with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So my website is www.dinorahnieves.com, and I am Dinorah Nieves on almost all my handles. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Thanks for all your work.
Love it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Back tomorrow. Good morning, LaLa.